Before we officially start today's meeting, I would like to welcome everyone and let each of you know that it is my intention as your chair that we create a space where every member of the commission feels seen, heard, respected, and valued. So with that said, I call this meeting to order on Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. This meeting of the City of Urbana Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission will now come to order. Carmen, will you please do the roll call?
Yes. Annie Adams.
Present.
Nicholas Anand.
Here.
Carmen Franks, that's me, I'm here. Choshi Huang. Present. Susan Jones.
Present.
Bruce Michelson.
Present.
Kev Murphy.
Present.
Keenan Portis. Sarthak Prasad.
Here.
Sarah Rand.
Present.
Nancy Westcott. And Giselle, I'm so sorry, I'm going to say your last name wrong. You'll have to correct me. Giselle Juarez Al Quisera. You can correct me at any time. Tim Friedman.
Yeah.
And for anyone I say your name wrong, please let me know at some point.
Name wrong, we have another problem.
Okay, everyone is present today, except for Nancy.
Except for Nancy.
Except for Nancy.
And
We have a quorum.
yeah, we have a quorum. A quorum is present, and we can now proceed to the first order of business. Are there any suggested changes to the agenda? Would you like to add or delete or reorder items?
Yes, I need to delete or move Florida Avenue update to future topics. I will not be presenting on that today.
All right, is there anything else? All right. Moving on to the first item of business on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I will second that motion.
All right. It has been properly moved and second to approve the minutes.
Wait, hold on.
Yep.
I think because the students are non-voting members, we have to, sorry, we have to have someone else.
All right.
So moved.
All right.
And I've already seconded it.
All right. It has been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes from our last meeting as presented. And then are there any changes or corrections? Seeing none, all of those in favor of approving the minutes from, I want to say December, as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The minutes are approved by voice vote. And the next item on the agenda is public input. Is there any public input? Women's basketball game at 5:30. Bunnies is having a Mardi Gras party. I mean, it's all happening. I personally, I don't know exactly when to say this, but I do want to acknowledge, something that happened in our city. My heart breaks for the family and friends of 22-year-old Aurora Taylor of Urbana, Illinois, whose life was ended on December 20th, 2025 by a reckless car driver at the intersection of Green and Matthews in Urbana. We must work to create a safer city for all residents. My deepest condolences to their family, friends, and our community. This is a great loss. And this is why this commission meets. Our work is valuable, needed, and important. Protecting and valuing all of our citizens and our most vulnerable road users and creating a safer, more connected city.
Thank you, Annie. She was a close friend of mine, so I really appreciate that.
Wow. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was unnecessary. All right. Yes, I cry. I don't apologize for crying. The next item, we did the public input, which was that. And the next item on the agenda is going to be, I have unfinished business, which is, and that is vacancies. We have new member introductions.
We have no vacancies.
I know.
That's the update on vacancies. But since we have a new
We're the, are we,
member,
wait, are we the only commission who's full?
I'm not sure.
I
but
think
that's
we are.
possible.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I'm very proud of us. Very
We
proud.
had another applicant come in after that I have
Wow.
to turn down.
All
So
right.
if that person is watching, I'm sorry, we are full. I will get back to your email.
But come and give input.
Yes. And we can talk more about working groups later, but for the working groups, I was thinking since they're informal, we can have those that are not members of BPAC join those. So more to come on that. But since we have a new member joining us today, I thought we could quickly go around and introduce ourselves to our new member, just our name, how long we've been here, why we're here, just quickly, just so we can all get to know each other, because it can be kind of intimidating coming into a new space. So I can start. I'm Carmen Franks. I'm an assistant city engineer with the City of Urbana Public Works, so I'm representing Public Works on this commission, but I'm also a resident of Urbana and an avid pedestrian, so I care deeply about the work that this group is doing, and I'm happy to be here. Oh, and I've been here for a little over a year in this commission.
Carmen, how long have you worked at the city?
A little over 4 years.
Hi, I'm Giselle. I'm a student member. I think I started in like December, October, but I think I first attended a meeting in December. I'm here because I'd really like to, as a part of the Hispanic community, I'd like to gather what I learned from here and share it back, since that community doesn't tend to get as much information as everyone else. So that's why I'm here.
I'm Bruce Michelson. This is my second 3-year stint on the committee. I'm a retired English prof at the U. And before a number of you were born, I chaired this committee. And everything I learned back then is either half forgotten or obsolete. So it's things have changed, and it's fun to watch things move in new directions.
Bruce, how long were you on the committee at that point?
Long enough to get stuck with chairing it, so. Probably 5-6 years, yeah.
Hi, my name is Qiuxi Huang. I work for MTD. I'm one of the planners there. I do like the data and ridership and support the planning work. I'm here because we are called like BPAC, but I think bus is also very important for this alternative transportation solution, especially in this town. We have a lot of fans in this town. So I think being here to learn about what people think of this system and what people think of our buses, how can we, the bus company, better serve those communities is super important. So yeah, nice to see you here.
I'm Sarthak Prasad. I'm the Sustainable Transportation Assistant at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and yeah, I'm here as a representative of the university.
I'm Kev Murphy. I'm a teacher at Urbana Middle School, and I'm a representative of Urbana School District, but I'm also an avid cyclist and pedestrian.
And how long have all three of you served?
I've been here 2 years, I think.
I don't remember. Maybe 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Yeah.
Since October.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, like I'm also like, I ride my bicycle a lot, not over winters, but I walk a lot, and during the winters, I ride the bus. So, yeah.
I'm Annie Adams, and I work at the University of Illinois in marketing and communications. And I have been on this commission for 10 years, and I am the chair. And I bike, I walk, I run. I love active transportation, and I love moving around this city. I think it's got a lot of really great assets and the ability to move around. But one of the reasons I'm on this commission is I feel we have room for improvement. So that's where I'm at.
I'm Sue Jones, and I work out at Parkland College and commute there by bike most of the time. I'm car-free, so it's walking the bike or renting sometimes. And I've been on this commission for about, I don't know, probably 15 years. And I also appreciate the slower friendly roads and options, but think there is lots of room for improvement. We need it to be safer.
And Sue, don't you commute by bike to Parkland every day?
Yes,
Yes.
unless I'm on the bus.
Yeah. By commute, yeah, by bike.
Hi, I'm Tim. I am the second Urbana High School representative. I joined back in October. I joined the commission as someone who likes looking on bikes and biking to school. So knowing the roads and like helping make them better is a major reason why I wanted to come.
My name is Sarah. Getting over a cold, sorry. I have been on the commission since October. I am an ambulatory wheelchair user, and I'm also visually impaired, as is Nancy, so I am representing the disabled community and the transportation needs that we have. But I also currently work as the coroner operations instructor at the Champaign County Coroner's Office, so I'm also here on the fatality side, so how can we prevent those fatalities from happening again?
Thank you, everyone. It's great to meet all of you. For those that don't know me, I'm Nick Anand. This is my first meeting here. I was just recently appointed. I'm a second-year student at the University of Illinois. I've also been a resident of the Champaign-Urbana area for about 9 years now. I joined the commission because I'm just generally passionate about non-driving options for getting around the city, so I'd like to do everything that I can to try and improve those options around here. I frequently walk and ride the bus. I don't have a bike anymore after mine got stolen, but I do also like to longboard around.
I'm Keenan Portis, representative of the Urbana Park District. My role is park planner for the Park District. I've been on the committee for 3 years, and I've also been at the Park District for 3 years, so go hand in hand with each other. I share a lot of information from the Park District, like master plans, anything that we're working on for the future, and also learn a lot from this committee on the specific topic of e-bikes right now. It's a pretty hot topic, so we'll talk about that later today as well.
All right, the next item is going to be snow removal updates. Carmen.
Oh, sorry, are you wishing for no more snow? That's not my update, but just briefly, at the last meeting we had in December, I gave a presentation where we talked about what you can do if there is snow blocking your sidewalk for specific areas in the snow ordinance zones. The recommendation is to reach out to our community development inspector in specific areas, and I had a map that I showed. There are areas that the city maintains, so those are directly adjacent to city-owned properties, and for those you can reach out to Public Works. And for other areas, it was to be determined for those outside of the snow ordinance zones and those outside of the city-maintained zones. I had just given my contact information. As it stands, you can still do that. You can still reach out to me. You can reach out to Public Works. But what we have started since I last spoke about this was taking advantage of an existing contract that community development holds for a contractor that removes the snow in the snow ordinance zones if an adjacent property owner does not remove the snow in a timely manner after they've received a warning or two. There's a process where we then have a contractor go out and do that. So because we have someone already under contract, we are using that same contractor to remove snow that is blocking a sidewalk that we feel is an ADA compliance issue as they come up. So far, we've received mostly from Sarah, but a few others, and we've been able to use this contractor to address those areas. It's kind of a pilot, I don't want to say project, but a pilot program, if you will, where we're trying this out to see if we can do this in a cost-efficient manner and how quickly they can get the snow removed when they may have other obligations for the snow ordinance zones. But so far, we have potential solution. So if we do receive a lot more snow and you find that the snow is blocking the sidewalk, you can still reach out to me directly, and we should get that taken care of. That's it.
So Carmen, would that be, people then would report a violation to the city?
Yeah, if you feel the snow has, this is specifically targeting areas where the snow has piled up, like Sarah had shared some images, and I just walked around and I shared one with everyone. I couldn't get up on the screen last time, but, and then I shared it with the group and the email afterwards. But it's where the snow has been piled up, maybe from our plows, or it could be from private property plowing their area, and they're putting it on the sidewalk where they shouldn't be. If it's blocking someone from using the sidewalk in a wheelchair in that area, then we'd consider that a violation. I mean, we do have a process where we'll go out and check. This is not where it's just a few inches of snow where someone can walk through or a wheelchair could pass through. It's where it's specifically someone in a wheelchair would not be able to use this area, whereas somebody walking could go around it. We consider that an ADA violation, and yes, if you experience that, you can report it to me or Public Works.
And would there ever be an ability for a person to type in their address and to see, like, that they're on a snow route, they need to clear the snow from their street or something like that?
I have that ability, I think, in our GIS map, but that's internal right now. We haven't made that public yet. So there isn't currently the ability for the public to do that. Hopefully one day we will have that available again, a public GIS map where people can post. We called it Urbana Problem Reporter. And in there, I believe you could turn on, well, it's been a while since I've looked at it, but in our internal system, you can turn on all of our GIS layers, and you'd be able to see if you're in a snow ordinance zone or if you're in the city maintained zone. So we have the potential to make that public again, yes.
Yeah, because that was one thing I know I had talked to the previous Public Works Director about, was that a person could type in their address, they'd be able to see what ward they were in, what council member represents them, how much they pay in taxes. You could add in, you're in a snow zone where you need to shovel your sidewalk when it snows. So a variety of like public database information would be available just by typing in your address, which I think would be a great public service to folks in the city. Because people don't really know, and they can't really read the current map. That was one of the things that we discussed in our small group, was where like people don't read the map, they don't understand the map, but if they were gonna be able to get like a full amount of information from something like that, that would probably be pretty helpful.
That would be great. Hopefully our GIS coordinator can work on that eventually.
To nobody's surprise, I have a few things to say about the snow removal. Do you want me to save that for the ADA working group, or do you want me to do it now?
Either time is fine.
Well, let's
Up
just
to
do
you.
it now.
Okay.
So I met with my city council representative and the city administrator last week about this issue specifically.
Sarah, who's your rep? Who's your council rep?
Grace. I don't remember her last name.
Grace Wilkins.
The meeting was interesting. I'm a little concerned about where the priorities of Urbana are. Like, I feel like I'm being stonewalled. Like, it was a lot of fluff, a lot of fluffy language, like things are being done, but no actual concrete, this is what's being done, this is what you should do. I myself, just as recently as Friday, I tried to go to Walgreens and I had to turn around and go home. I wasted an entire hour of my time because the sidewalks were completely iced over, despite the fact that it was 50 degrees. And I think I just sent you photos yesterday or this morning of in front of Long's garage and the VFW, how the sidewalks were completely impassable. I actually tried to go around it and got stuck in the mud, and somebody had to stop and come help me out. The other times that I've gotten stuck, nobody helps you, and it's humiliating to be stuck and watch everybody stare at you while they just drive by. And on Spotted in Chambana, somebody posted a video of a Good Samaritan who stopped to help pull a man in a manual wheelchair out of the snow who he was missing one of his legs. And everybody on that video was commenting about what a good person that is and how heartwarming this is. And it's not. We're not out here to be inspiration for other people. I'm not here to be available so that somebody can do a good deed. I should be able to use the sidewalks just like anybody else. And I've talked to everybody that I can talk to about this, and I'm done. I'm done being nice about it. So if it snows again and I still have this problem, I'm just gonna start coming to every single city council meeting. I'll come to every meeting that has public hearing, and whether it's relevant or not, and I'll keep bringing this issue up, because this is not just happening to me, it's happening to so many other people, and it's to the point where I'm not even able to do just whatever tasks I need to do, and I'm in a power chair. So there's people that in manual chairs that aren't able to get out at all. And I mean, I was sort of heard a little bit at my meeting, but I feel like there's not as much transparency as I expected from Urbana. So I'm just a little bit concerned about where their priorities are, because I know that they talked about wanting to have an equitable solution, but the problem is not affecting everybody equally. And I brought up the fact that, you know, this is February, it's Black History Month, and that there's a lot of Black disabled residents that live at Florida House that are being disproportionately affected by this. Because I also went to Behringer Commons and Stone Creek in some of the, you know, the richer, whiter neighborhoods where they had some issues with the snow, but not nearly like we do. And so what is it about Philo Road that we're all just ignoring? Like, how is this not something that was addressed to begin with? What were we doing for all these years? Just ignoring the residents' concerns, ignoring the fact that they couldn't get anywhere? And the fact that this has been a 2-month process for me, this is a kind of a ridiculous at this point. Through no fault of anybody on this board, but I'm feeling a little unheard, and I don't feel like my life matters right now. Like, I have sent in photos of what it looks like when I'm physically in the lane of traffic in the dark, and I almost got hit by a bus because I had to be in the lane of traffic because the sidewalk was completely snowed and iced over, as was the bike lane, so I couldn't even be in the bike lane. So until either they fix it or somebody gets killed, I'm going to sit in every single meeting until this is addressed, because I don't know what else to do anymore, and I'm not gonna let other people suffer the same way that I have.
I mean, sorry, Annie, can I jump in? First, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your email yet today, but I did get it, and I passed it along to our CD inspector, and I should have brought this up earlier, but for those areas that are adjacent to a business, even if they're outside of the snow ordinance zone, they can be addressed by our community development inspector as well. He will coordinate with those business owners, so he's now aware of them. He only does it on a case-by-case basis as it's like brought to his attention. Like, he's not going out and reviewing those areas outside of the snow ordinance zone unless someone brings him the complaint. So you can bring him the complaint, bring them to me. I will send them directly to him, and he can coordinate with those property owners.
So just so I'm clear, because I want to make sure that it's on public record, my job is to now essentially provide the city with this information. So I'm not getting paid for this, nor do I have the time and energy, but the only way this is going to get fixed is if I, as a singular citizen, bring it to the people's attention. Is that what I'm hearing?
I hear you. I'm not sure we would be aware of these unless it becomes a problem area, and then we could maybe make a list and prioritize those and have those reviewed on a regular basis. But before I started hearing them from you, I personally had not heard any of these complaints myself. Granted, I'm not, a snow ordinance zone inspector, so maybe nobody knew that they could bring me any complaints. So, I mean, there could be just this lack of awareness from the public where we're not hearing the complaints because they don't know who they can talk to. And maybe there's a lack of availability from our staff, so it's a combination of the two things that's providing this, where we haven't had that communication in the past. Or perhaps they have come to the attention and it was just, we have never done this before, this is outside of the city maintained zone, so this is not going to be done. That could have been an answer that was given to the public previously. I'm not sure. I can't speak to that. For now, I can tell you that I'm sorry that you have to bring those to us. If anyone, you shouldn't have to do this alone. If anyone else can bring us those concerns, they are welcome to as well. I'm not sure I have a solution at this moment other than what I said about tracking these areas so that we are already aware of them and potentially could, remove the snow before it's even an issue, or just not push the snow into that area in the first place. So this is an ongoing discussion, and I'm sorry to say things like that are vague after you've already heard that. But I promise you I will keep working on this as long as I am here in this role.
Right, and I was gonna say, I'm not saying anything bad about you. I was also told during this meeting that essentially, since you've been my point of contact, that like I'm only supposed to communicate with you, where it just felt like there was like, I don't want you to talk to me and the mayor about this issue. The transparency didn't feel like I thought it would. So I would like to bring it to the public record's attention that maybe Urbana needs to reevaluate their priorities to who is being affected right now by this problem and who isn't, and how do, like, I totally understand this can't be solved overnight, and the solution does have to be equitable, but because it's not equitably affecting everybody else, there has to be something to be doing in the interim.
Sarthak, could you tell me how the University of Illinois approaches this a similar situation?
So like, again, like we have a priority method for snow removal, but the university does its own campus streets, sidewalks, bike lanes, and bike racks. They are on the least priority list. So, but sidewalks and streets, again, are plowed. But if there are areas that need to be addressed, like they reach out to us at Facilities and Services, like general inbox, or they call in to our service desk and the issue gets resolved that way, because then it is sent, the complaint is sent to the appropriate department, and then they send people to fix those issues. So that's something that I was actually going to ask, like, Carmen, is there like an email that we can post, like, or City of Urbana could post for residents to just report? I know like there is the See, Click, Fix type of thing for street potholes and stuff.
We don't use the See, Click, Fix system. I believe that's Champaign.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
we, on our website, you know, we have a how do I report at the top of the page, and then you can drop down menu of a variety of things. And that just brings up a generic email. And it, dependent upon the topic, it can direct to specific departments or divisions. Or I'm not sure if there is one specific to snow right there. But there's at least some generic, like infrastructure or something, where it'll go then to Public Works front desk. I do also want to know that it's not just me working on this. We have an ADA coordinator at the city, and she and I are working on the formal grievance procedure, and we will get that posted on the website soon so that these can all be tracked through this ADA grievance process, and she will track everything there. For now, I'm tracking them in our asset management system as they come in so that we can at least map them and know where the problem areas are. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll have that grievance form up. We have it drafted. She and I are meeting on Thursday, and there's another point of contact who will champion this issue.
And I'd also say for FNS, like, for example, on campus, there will be like bushes overgrown. Well, there's like in one area, there were bushes growing over the sidewalk, covering half the sidewalk, which is right next to it. There we go. So this is, yeah, and so when I had to report something like that in Urbana, it was difficult for me to figure out how to do it. FNS has a very clear form. You just fill it out. Now, it doesn't happen right away. I was very excited. Like, I reported it, and there were leaves that were piling up on I'm not sure who owns the bike lane land. And so I just reported it to FNS, and I said, can you work with the city of Urbana? Can you figure out how to do this? Because I'm bringing a rake into work, and this is silly. So I have found that form to be just incredibly helpful, because I'll just fill it out, and I've learned not to expect things to get fixed in 48 hours, which I know ice and snow is different than bushes overgrowing, but I think it's important for all of us to, because I've gone out in my own neighborhood at night and just cut back bushes, like just been like, this is ridiculous. The city just put in beautiful 5-foot sidewalks, and bushes are overgrowing this stuff. This is ridiculous. And I also know we have a procedure where they'll get fined, your neighbor will get fined. And I was like, well, this is just dumb. I'm just going to cut it back. It's an abandoned house. I also want you to know, I did submit, there was an email, which we'll get into the VO bikes. So there's a group of folks that were emailing me about VO bikes on sidewalks, and one of our council members, Christopher Evans, was also included in that email, and I did reply and say, I know this is upsetting, but I'm also incredibly upset that the bike lanes are still, like, our most used bike lanes on Green Street are still covered in ice and snow. The sidewalks are still covered in ice and snow. Like, people can't get around. And I did say, we have come up with imperfect, yet some sort of solutions for when people park in bike lanes, and when people park their cars in bike lanes, and when people park their cars on sidewalks. It's imperfect, but it's some kind of solution, which is, I think, what Carmen is at least going to try to get us started on, not Carmen personally, but the ADA coordinator is going to get us trying to get started on. But I do think a simple interface, some sort of simpler interface would really be helpful. And again, I think there's a lot of confusion in our city over, am I in a must shovel zone? Am I in, like, we can tell everyone to be, be kind, shovel, but like, if we tell you, no, you actually have to shovel your walk, I think that makes it sort of sends a different message, that, you're in a space where people are expecting the sidewalks to be cleared and they can get through. So I just need you to know that was something that happened.
Yes, and I appreciate that. And like I said, I know that it won't get solved overnight, but I'm just seriously concerned we're going to kill a pedestrian here. Or somebody in a wheelchair. Something bad is going to happen, and I just wanted to put it on public record that this isn't really being taken care of the way that it really needs to be. And so for the upper people that are watching, I'm just putting it on public record.
If I may add something, by the high school, there's this sidewalk that at least I frequently use. It's by like PNC Bank, leading to like Lincoln Square, and I've noticed like during the wintertime, it is constantly iced over. There's so much snow, and I've seen students repeatedly get hurt on these sidewalks. And so my question is there somewhere students can submit like their grievances about these issues?
And wait, one other thing I hear you, and the other thing I want to talk about, which I forgot about, was what the University of Illinois does is if they see a storm coming that's going to be ice, which is usually what we're dealing with in this city, because of climate change, we've moved towards ice and away from snow. But what they do is the university goes out and puts treatment down all over their sidewalks, and because right now we have this sort of slapdash way of taking care of our streets, like the city takes care of some streets, sidewalks and streets, but we kind of have individuals taking care of stuff. It really changes like that situation there. Like if you were on the University of Illinois campus, they would treat that, they pre-treat it with like this substance, brine. They treat it with a brine, and that's how, like, I'll be walking into work and I'll be like, oh, it looks like it'll be an icy walk home, because I'll see them putting down the brine everywhere. But so that's something that I know it's expensive, I know it's big picture, but if we could get better about figuring out a system, some sort of system. But anyway, if there's an easy way for students to report whether it's a sidewalk violation, or whether they would like a crosswalk added, or whether something like that, is there a system?
I don't have any other system in place other than what anyone else in the city would do to report an issue. So again, you can feel free to email me anytime.
I was going to say, now that we have students on this commission,
Yes.
Here's a place, here's a way, here's a contact. Now, this past little weather, really, it was a bunch of snow, and then because it was so cold, it evolved into ice. And I think it's just, part of my duty as a citizen to be aware of, and report something that might be, maybe I can get around, but not everybody could.
And I also want to say on public record, thank you very much, Carmen, for the amount of work that you have done, because you have been the one that's been spearheading it, at least from my end, and I appreciate the work that you are doing.
On the student part, how would you recommend us doing that? for the high school, like, because, like, yes, both me and Giselle are on here, but, like, could we, like, give our principal your email and say, like, if a student needs it, like, they can contact you kind of thing?
Yeah, of course. Or, I wrote down the location right now. I can check on that and email you back once I see what area that is and if it's city maintained or.
I haven't been on that road recently, but I think either like a week or two ago I was on it, and I unfortunately also got hurt, and I was like and walking hurt for like a while, and I had heard from a bunch of other people that they had also fallen and also gotten hurt, and I was like, this can't be happening.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up and reporting that, because the sidewalks do belong to the city, and citizens are expected to clear them, but they are owned by the city, and there's different areas that the city does own and does clear sidewalk, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But this could be a good time to plug the CU Safe Routes to School Snow Angels program, which targets the areas around schools and tries to get volunteers to kind of adopt segments of sidewalk to take care of each season. So I'm not sure if they got many volunteers signed up this year, but if anyone's listening and interested in becoming a snow angel, please check out their website.
yeah, and I wonder if that couldn't be, if we all could collectively try to remember, the best time to ask someone to shovel something is like in the summer. So if we were able to be at the farmer's market and bring it up with people and be like, well, we do have this snow angel program. Would you be interested in shoveling, this area or something like that? It's Shoshi, do you manage that, or do you know who manages that?
Abby Kipping, who works, MTD's design specialist, she manages those.
And I did bring up the Snow Angels program to the city administrator. He wasn't aware of it, but he said he would look into it.
Yeah, I connected him to Abby recently.
Is this something the students can participate in?
I think anyone can participate, yeah.
Is there a way we could get that out to the schools and maybe inform people who are looking for like experience?
Yeah, because of the mayoral recognition program, you get hours for volunteer work. And again, we have $300. So, and I don't know if we could, but because we could it'd be fun to get people who shovel like a hat or something. I don't know, just something would be fun. We can get them Culver's ice cream. I don't know. Yeah, that's great. The Snow Angel program.
But
Yeah, I
so
forgot about that.
Abby at MTD, she works closely with the superintendent of the schools for all the Safe Routes to School initiatives. But I can ask her if, she's been coordinating with the school district recently on that.
Yeah, I can connect you with her, or you can just search CU Snow Angel program. They have the website for all the information and how to contact.
And to answer, Tim, your question, you can ask your principal to connect directly with Carmen or anybody on the BPAC or someone.
You could also have me connect to anyone in district as the BPAC representative of Urbana School District. So I am comfortable emailing Jennifer Ivory Tatum or.
I email JIT more than I would actually want to.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Sarah, for bringing that up. I think that's good. I think we had a good discussion here. I appreciate everyone bringing their ideas forward in a respectful and thoughtful manner. So the next one is reports of city officials and staff and reports of working groups. So Carmen, city project updates.
Okay. So starting with our shared use path projects, no updates from the last meeting on the Florida Avenue shared use path. That's still at 90% complete for design and going to be likely construction package, not packaged, but done at the same time or coordinated with the larger Florida Avenue street project. Baker's Lane shared, oh jeez, I broke my pen. Baker's Lane shared use path, that construction started in the fall and is just on hold right now during the winter months, but we'll pick back up in the spring. Roadway projects, our Country Club Road and Perkins Road project that is widening a south side sidewalk to a shared use path according to the bike and pedestrian master plans, and adding new sidewalk on the north side between Willow Road and Cunningham. That project went out to bid in October. I shared all this at the last meeting, but we are still moving towards construction to be started soon and completed this year, 2026. Lincoln Avenue corridor study, still no updates since the study the recommendations were endorsed by council in July. Lincoln Avenue project from Washer to Killarney. So this one has the SS4A, that's Safe Streets for All grant, that has a demonstration piece to it to go from 4 lanes to 3. So the demonstration will be going out for bid on March 5th, and the demonstration will be completed by June 30th with a public meeting to follow. And then we will complete the phase 2 design in time to bid the project out for construction in FY28. So that one has moved a little bit faster than we anticipated because we did secure that SS4A grant. Springfield Avenue resurfacing project. So this project I talked to you all about back in December. I gave a overview of the project. This is from Wright Street to Gregory on Springfield. This just went out for bid last week on the 12th, and the bids will be opened on the 27th. So the only update I have since that overview that I gave in December is that we did add in 2 new crosswalks and signage on Harvey and Gregory. So we had pedestrian counts from RPC that validated, justified adding those crosswalks. Then the Florida Avenue project from Wright to Hillcrest. I will give an update on that project. It was a larger presentation at some point, but waiting on RPC. Well, we'll wait until RPC can update the corridor study online first, and then I will give a larger overview. We are still working on securing the federal funding for that. Illinois
Carmen,
yeah.
could I just interrupt for a second? So you were going to give an update on that today, but is it because the money didn't come through, or
No,
other reasons?
No, we're finishing phase 1 design right now, and IDOT is still reviewing the intersection design details, specifically Rice and Vine Street intersections. And then once that's complete, then I will give the overview to BPAC, just to make sure I'm not sharing something that IDOT is opposed to. But then, with that, we're going to update the website that RPC hosts with the corridor study information as well. Sorry, that was unclear the first time. Okay, and then Illinois and Vine Street project, that phase 1 design is nearly complete. So again, this is Illinois Street from Race to Vine, so right outside here, Vine from Illinois to Maine. At the last meeting, I shared that we will be adding bike lanes to Illinois Street. And now the update here is that phase 2 design will be starting in March, so soon, so that project is progressing well. Traffic signal improvements. This includes updates to the audio devices at 14 of our signalized intersections. That project also went out to bid on the 12th, so we had 3 big projects just go out for bid last week, and we'll open those bids on the 25th.
And Carmen, can I ask about the audio devices? Have we decided to go with words or single beep, multiple beep?
I'm sorry, you keep asking me this, and I keep forgetting to check on that. I think it's the words.
I just have such a preference for the beeps, but
whatever the standard is what we're doing.
All right,
Whatever we're
The
required
beeps would
to
be
do.
more standard in that any language can understand it. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think this was subjective on our part. I think we had to follow some pretty strict guidelines there. But I will check on that. All right, so a few more, then I'll be done. Sidewalk projects, the TIF 4 sidewalk improvements. So these are repairs to existing sidewalk on the west side of Cunningham from Kerr to Country Club Road, and addition of some, I believe we're filling some gaps there, or it's repairs and then fixing the sidewalk that crosses some driveways and closing a few of those driveways that are not needed anymore. That pre-construction meeting was held today with our contractor that's Foyt's, and that construction will be completed in 2026, so likely to be completed by the middle of the summer. Then our equity and quality of life program projects are, I don't think I need to share that. I've given that same update multiple times. So this one's just the FY25 program. So this includes sidewalks, ramps, streetlights, and some traffic calming devices on Broadway, Kerr, and Cottage Grove. The design is underway for the streetlights in the Silverwood neighborhood and scheduled for a May letting date. And then the design of the sidewalk improvements in the Silverwood neighborhood is at a pre-final stage of design, and it's under review right now. And we're expecting to put that out for bid as soon as we complete our review internally. Then finally, I've been giving updates on our grants. Our grants consultant has put together a strategy document, and the draft is just sitting on my desk waiting to be reviewed. So hopefully that helps us prioritize what grants we can pursue. Talk more about that in the working group section, an idea for a new working group. That's all I've got.
And Carmen, can we talk really fast about staffing for your department? I know it's my understanding, I heard that John Zeman will be leaving.
Yes, sadly, John submitted his resignation, so his last day will be March 6th.
And do you know how long John had worked for the city?
A little over 4 years. He started a few months before I did.
Yeah, I personally I thank you for confirming that. I just want to say I really appreciate John. I know you're probably not listening to this, but I just want to thank you for your work. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening to all of our concerns. Thank you for altering plans as you could, as worked with what was appropriate. You have been incredible to work with. You are going to be greatly missed, and best of luck in all the things you do next, because you're going to do more great things. And I hope we'll see you around helping the city of Urbana. But I'm sorry to hear that, Carmen. So what's the staffing situation with that entire Santa Claus list you just gave us there?
Nothing. I'm waiting on leadership for what our plan is in this transition time. For the time being, my colleagues and I, specifically the other assistant city engineer, Justin Swinford, and I are divvying out the work, working with John to see what will move forward and who will be tasked with each of the projects. Sorry, that's a...
So, but you'd be under, so are you short than one full-time, or are you short two once John leaves? Are you short one full-time person, or?
In just the engineering division, just John.
Okay.
I think you have 2 new planners.
We do have 2 new planners, yes,
Wow.
in community development. So, end on a positive note there.
All right, next up is the Bike Share Working Group. Bruce, Keenan, Sarthak, review of the VO agreement recommendations.
We might have actually an action item going in that direction. Background for the new people. I'll try to make this very quick. VO, as you know, is the green bike share system, which has thousands of units available. They negotiate agreements with each of the major entities. Those agreements in both Champaign and Urbana are up for review and renewal. And one of the things that we're called upon to do as an advisory group is to put suggestions about key points that we want to see in that agreement, if in fact we can work it out. We are an advisory group. We don't have the authority to bird dog or veto or do anything else about that. When it leaves our hands, it'll go into the hands of the city officials who are empowered to handle the legal complications. And so the idea tonight, I hope, is to put a succinct list of things that are important to us out there as some general and some specific recommendations. Keenan, Sarthak, and I and Carmen have gone back and forth. We had some input from some outside people. Last week, I circulated 7 suggestions, which ballooned, I think, effectively by somebody else to 9. The 2 final ones I'm going to have to read out because they didn't make it into your packet. Some of this is common sense. Some of it might come as surprises. And I've had some comments from Carmen, who was the city staff rep on this committee, about what we do and don't need to do. Our understanding from talking to Reed of VO last week is that in Champaign, the Champaign City Council was called upon or to, in fact, formally authorize their people to do this negotiation. Carmen's notes indicate that maybe we don't have to do that. We don't have to put this to the city council for a resolution.
I think, so they did a 1-year pilot program, is my understanding, and now they're going to do a longer contract with VO. My thought is maybe we could follow in their footsteps and do a pilot program ourselves. We could still have an agreement with VO, but maybe it's just a 1-year agreement to start, and we can follow all of these recommendations, but I'm not sure we need council to give us the approval to keep building this agreement. Like, that's
Okay,
what
so
I was
we
saying.
could
is I
eliminate
think we
number
can-
1 then. in your-
Yeah, I think we can just keep moving forward with this, and they're supportive. They're aware of what we're doing.
All right, I'm gonna, if we do get to a point where I put this forward as an item for action, we'll eliminate number 1. At least I will propose to eliminate number 1. The annual fee issue, Champaign has done a blanket fee. VO pays a certain specified amount. We should put this as a backstory, a good relationship with the people in Champaign who are negotiating. There's no 3-card Monte going on. No, this is important because, and also for the clients. When you ride one of these VO items, you want to make sure that when you pass over a border, you're not going into a whole different jurisdiction. You haven't crossed checkpoint Charlie. You don't know what I'm talking about. You haven't crossed from West Berlin to East Berlin, and you're facing a whole nother system. And we're going to be counting explicitly and implicitly on that dialogue between the Urbana people and Champaign to make sure that there's as much seamlessness as possible here, insofar as that benefits us. So I've recommended, the second recommendation is to go with a blanket fee rather than a per unit fee. There's a maximum speed recommendation. If you've ridden an e-bike, 20 miles an hour is hauling ass. I'm sorry, but it is. I know I'm an old guy, but, and you also have to remember, have you ever seen anybody on an e-bike wearing a helmet? They don't come with a bike, and so those are realities, I think, which militate towards or lobby towards a 15-mile-an-hour top limit. You can get killed at 15, too, but it's a little better. All right, consultation with public safety staff, Carmen suggested that the material I put in parentheses, downtown Urbana public school property and such, she wasn't sure that that was necessary. I mean, we could leave that to public safety or for us to make a further recommendation down the line when we discuss that as a separate issue. In other words, which specific zones members of this commission, consulting with each other, think of as hot zones where VO bikes need to be restricted in some way, either in terms of speed or any kind of operation at all.
Could I add a comment about that? Sure. It might be a stretch to talk about all public parks for GPS-based restrictions, but at least signature parks like Meadowbrook, Crystal Lake, Weaver and Prairie, I think would be a good consideration. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but we do have e-bike policy. We don't allow Class 3. I think 15 miles per hour is about the limit we get within our policy, but I would still lobby for having some restrictions at signature parks.
Okay, so again, I'm going to suggest that maybe we drop number 4 out and perhaps add that as an item after we've discussed it at a later meeting. The issue is, in spite of our worries about the snow, spring is coming. And, the bikes are going to be operating. The question is how soon they can be operating under the auspices that we want them to operate on. So to move forward with all deliberate speed seems like a value here.
This was going to be one of the announcements, but they are back. The VO bikes are back. They are starting the relaunch this week, and in the next 2 weeks, they will be at 100% capacity.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that for number 4, we drop out the parenthetical material and go with either that item or drop it out altogether. We can talk about that in a minute. Clear messaging. This has been an issue as to when you find a bike in the wrong position, what can you do? In our conversation with Reed, he's brand new. His heart's in the right place. He's very articulate. He's from Ohio. He didn't know where I-57 was. He wasn't quite sure, so he's still getting used to the situation. But he said that their intention is to have posters, public PSAs, and to have clear information on the bike. So when you go over Indignant and look at it, you can see the phone number to call or the email to send, and most importantly, the VIN on that bike. Because if they know the VIN, you don't have to give them any information that it's next to the elm tree at the corner of this and that. They know exactly through their GPS system where that bike is. So that's to specify some action by VO to actually get the word out as to how to get these complaints and issues reported. And this one came up in the course of the conversation. Any substantial change in the equipment offered for rental. Again, Reed is new, but he intimated they're looking at or considering deployment of multi-passenger VOs. Okay,
So
2, 3.
They actually had deployed a 2-seater.
Okay,
That was 1.5 years ago.
okay.
We had them in our market for about 3-4 months, but they have since stopped. But that's more because of the tariffs and them not being able to bring those bicycles here.
What I'm suggesting is a
Yes.
provision in here where the city gets a chance to review before approving.
Yes.
If they roll in with an electric golf cart, you're going to have some conversations with our public
Agreed.
about these things getting dumped in wheelchair ramps or on driveways. We don't know how big they're going to be. And as you know, e-bike technology is changing every week. And so we need some way to be able to review if there are drastic innovations which could complicate things further. City of Representatives, Representative we're suggesting they work in coordination with the City of Champaign. The 2 new items here, the ones that didn't make it into your packet, I'll read them more carefully. That VO ride address reports of potential ADA violations within 2 hours of the time in which issues are reported to VO ride staff during working hours on non-holiday weekdays. They said they could respond in 70 minutes.
He said that was the average time for 95% of the cases. And I know other municipalities use the 3-hour limit. I kind of I went with something in the middle. I think when we talked in our working group, I think, Sarah, you were saying that 90 minutes would be acceptable. Or you're thinking just from the time you go and run an errand, coming
Yeah,
back.
my thought process was like, for the issues that I've had specifically, if the sidewalk was blocked on my way to run an errand, probably about 90 minutes later, I'd be going back the same route, and then I would hope by then that bike would be moved.
Okay.
But again, I think that's reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to come out in 30
We can
minutes
try to put
do
some
it.
teeth in the agreement to see to that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of something to hold them to a max,
Yeah.
Maybe 3 hours is still what we want to do, but the expectation is that we would get closer to that hour and a half range, but.
Carmen, why don't you talk about number 9?
Sure. Let's see, that the agreement include designated parking zones in specified locations in Urbana where VO Ride users can park their vehicle and/or VO Ride staff can drop off vehicles that they have picked up from unwanted locations. Annie, I think is supportive of this.
I am. I'm very supportive of hubs, of pilot neighborhood parking spots, and I have a corner property, and I'm offering to have a hub in front of my house.
Your driveway.
I'm more than happy to. Yeah, we are 2 blocks from. We have pretty good bus transit near us, so I'd be more than happy to have a hub. Someone else mentioned that They have cars that park up against, that park right up against their driveway, so they might be interested in having a hub there too, because then they could back out more safely from their driveway. But I think if we could find people that would be okay, instead of, if we could find people that would be willing to volunteer to have these hubs on the streets, I think that would be, I think it'd be very helpful for VO, honestly. And so I don't know who does that work or how we get that going, but
So the general
it'd be great.
recommendation we can send forward now is they think seriously about creating these hubs.
Yeah, I was thinking following what City of Champaign already has done in their pilot program, where they laid out specific areas downtown to put the VO bikes in. And then if VO's coming around and moving bikes that are in these unwanted locations, they have a designated area to put them in so that people know where to find them.
I feel like VO has already kind of been doing that in some ways in Urbana, like specifically over near the courthouse. They always drop off the bikes there, I feel like, across from the IMC.
Yeah, so it'd just be seeing where they're already being dropped off and if that's a city-approved location, and then.
Yeah, and if like, because I know there was once, I saw like 6 VOs all lined up in front of a fraternity, and they were parked so well. I was like, VO just dumped 6 bikes here. And so it would be cool if VO could figure out where the hubs really are, and then if we could just take those parking spots. Because again, the city of Urbana doesn't pay, we're not, like a lot of the neighborhood parking spots where a lot of these VOs are being used and we're getting a lot of complaints, that we're not taking away, like in Chicago, for example, they made this parking meter deal where if you take away one spot, you have to pay for it. You have to pay the company, the parking meter company, for that spot. We don't have that situation in Urbana. So if we just want to like paint a blue spot in front of this fraternity, and we could just paint a blue spot, and then that was where they would put the bikes.
So on that note, the university, again, this hasn't happened yet. We have been approved for it. In the next couple of months, you are going to see on campus a lot of these green outlined areas. These are off bike rack locations that have been approved for VOs, because VOs take up a lot of bike rack space. So we want to move some of them away. Again, this hasn't happened yet. It will happen soon, hopefully in the next couple of months, but that's something that you can look into. I would say that it's a difficult thing to designate where you want to have these hubs, because one, downtown is easier, but as soon as you move out into the neighborhoods, how are you going to designate that? Because not everybody is going to be like Annie and say, okay, you can use the space in front of my house for.
Well, and we don't need that. I mean, we don't need that many. I mean, we can have, if someone can, if someone sees mine, I could say, well, would you be, like we don't need that many. It's, we don't need 100. We're not a huge city, honestly. And where the majority of these bikes are being used, it's a pretty small little neighborhood, frankly.
So about that also, like the university allows 750 bicycles. City of Champaign allows 1,000. And I would think that the city of Urbana would want something similar, because they put additional bicycles in the market so that it can rotate throughout Urbana, Champaign, and the university. It's just they have the capability of knowing where the rides start, where the ride ends, and that is how they
The Arboretum,
create
for God's sakes, you know what I mean? Like, they have to see so much use by the Arboretum.
They cannot go into Arboretum. It's a no-ride zone.
But there's a parking lot there.
Yes, but
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you need a place to put the VO when you get there. And like, and so it's like, it's like arriving and not having a bike rack. You're like, I'll just put it up against this car, I guess. I don't know.
So, anyway, like, I would say, like, it is a good idea to have, and I think that's what we were discussing in the December meeting also. Like, we should first move forward with the agreement and then add in details about, because right now there is no agreement with the city of Urbana. They are operating on City of Urbana property without a contract, basically. So,
And you're saying I have a few weeks until they come back to town, is that right?
Yeah.
Or they're already coming?
They have, their plan is to bring 33% of their fleet back this week. Next week is the next 33%. The week after is the, well, remainder of the 30. So they will be at 100%. They have already brought in, I think, 100 or 150 bicycles already by today, like since today is Tuesday.
And sorry, can I ask you a question
Yes.
about the quad use? How you're, what's the, because to me, I would love, like we're saying, we'd like to have the same system throughout all the cities so people understand. So if someone takes a VO through the quad, they know that something's going to happen to that machine. I'm wondering if we couldn't use the same policy for our signature parks.
I agree. And that is basically what the point 4 is, like restricting areas here. University, like
And what's our quad, what's the policy for
it's
that?
a no-ride zone. They cannot ride VOs on the quad. VOs are not allowed on the quad.
And would something like that work? But like Crystal Lake Park has that big.
Yeah.
I don't know about like no ride. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe just speed reduction to 10 instead of 15, something like that.
So we also have slow ride zones. So within CAT's zone 1 is the core of campus, basically. If somebody, for instance, they're riding on Wright Street, they cannot ride past, like, 8 miles per hour is the speed limit set on these vehicles. It's set by VO. So again, like, it's point number 4 that we have, like exactly what we were talking about. It is possible, it is, and VO is very responsive in that respect, like, and they want to work with us.
Their clear. Their VHS of GPS controls are very sophisticated.
Yeah.
They know where that bike is and how fast it should be going. Yeah. So this isn't something that you're going to have to yell at somebody about, or that the cops are going to have to deal with. When that bike hits a specified low speed or no operation zone, it's going to cut out.
Yeah.
So this is, again, something we can negotiate.
Yeah.
At this point, we don't seem too sure about where we want to put these restrictions on. I think VO is going to have some ideas about where they want these bike concentration areas is, because it's obviously to their advantage if 20 bikes are in one place.
That's right,
to
and they
maintain.
have the data. That's my thing, is like, they have the data. They know where the hubs would work best, and they should share that information with us. And I also want people to know the ride usage on these goes up year after year. I mean, Sarthak, you've probably seen the numbers. I don't know if any of you saw Champagne's numbers, but our numbers are extremely high. So these are our vital transportation network for people. So
Let me ask Carmen
good.
a procedural question. If we do, in fact, put this forward tonight, in what format should it go forward and to whom? We need a fancy letter with a royal seal on it, or what's the etiquette?
I feel like the next step is we draft this into an agreement and have it approved by my city attorney and leadership and council if needed. I'm not sure if council needs to weigh in.
So if we approve this tonight with the changes that people want to make,
I think there's some more
It goes where?
specifics that are needed before it's an actual agreement.
Yeah.
Although, another option would be to leave the specifics out.
I mean, with the agreement, I would say, like, the terms of the agreement, first of all, like, when it is valid, when termination, all those legal terms, basically, like, I think those are not here, and these are not all
We
of,
need the actual fee, like what is the cost that we're going to
Yeah.
expect from them?
like, the specifics, even the removal of any bicycle that's in violation of parking. Like, we are saying, are we saying 90 minutes? Are we saying 2 hours? Are we saying 3 hours? Weekdays, okay, weekdays are Monday through Friday, what times are we saying? So again, like at the university, we have the 3-hour limit, but again, like VO is very responsive and they usually get to a bicycle within an hour, maybe 2 hours maximum. But again, like we need to put that.
Well, rather than not try to guess what's feasible here,
Yeah.
or debate too much unduly among ourselves, could we put it in this form to city staff with a request for additions
I
and modifications to come back to us for final approval? Next meeting is in March.
I'm not
agree
sure
with
the
that.
other city staff other than me, like, that's the thing.
Could we give our best recommendations to legal, and could they legalese it for us?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're not gonna write, I mean, unless we're
I think
chat GBTing this
can-
thing or
I can
plotting
check
it.
in with our, the community development director and the planners to see if they have input next.
Yeah.
Because it was Marcus that was
Okay.
spearheading this. And then, if we have enough details in it, then like, I think we need to lay out fee, the dates of the contract, the response time, the locations of these parking areas. I think I'd like to add in a number 10 if we support it for what Annie just said about data sharing, because I think Champaign had a great clause in their pilot program about them sharing data. Yeah, and then matter of city attorney and city administrator reviewing, and then if VO agrees to it. But it sounds like VO is pretty supportive from our conversation we just
Yeah.
had, so,
The city attorney, we assume, will be the point person for negotiating the contract.
I think so.
So a letter to the city attorney with our recommendations is what we need to do now? Or,
I'm not sure it
an
needs to be that
interaction?
formal.
all right, I'm trying to figure out what our next step is here.
Well, I'm thinking, is this the draft? Like, we need to add the details to make this the draft.
All right, but
And then,
who's the "we" in this case? I mean, you're talking about details, which to some extent are technical and sort of beyond the purview of this group. I mean, it's not up to us to set the fee,
Yeah.
because we don't know.
I don't-
That's a conversation between Champaign and Urbana on what, and VIA about what
Sure.
has been a conventional fee. We don't have that information. The issue about bike concentration locations is going to depend upon VO input. You know, where they see
I mean,
them.
we can recommend that we
think they
get.
do, because they
we
gotta
can
go
recommend.
maintain the bikes.
Yeah, we can recommend that we get the data from VO and that VO can make their best guesses at the best places, and we as a committee can decide, like, yep, that looks right, like, we can do this many, or we can deploy that many, and then we do still have to share that back with, city staff is, well, I mean, I guess VO will paint it, but everybody has to be aware that it's happening, so, but I think this contract doesn't have to lay out it can say, like, that we're interested in a pilot, in a pilot parking hub spots, and, that's enough. And then we work with VO to get the data and to figure out where those parking hub spots are. It's in their best interest to get those hub spots deployed sooner
Yeah.
rather than later,
Okay.
So
I will move this up the chain and see what city attorney says.
do we,
Our assumption here, if I've got this right, is that we're putting forward a set of suggestions to get the ball rolling in the negotiations. And
I don't
Yeah.
think
And-
like the bike share working
issues,
group,
who we
like,
address it to, and with what degree of finality.
yeah,
I
because
guess my
I don't know like what else like we can do as the bike share working group. Because it will have to go through the city with, like, city staff has to talk to VO staff and come to an agreement and create that contract.
Sure, just trying to get as much out of you guys as I can.
but hey, number
We're
four,
not
can we,
attorneys and we're not-
can
we're
we
not
talk
tech.
about number four? Can we ensure that we do say something about our signature parts, our parks, or that we create slow ride zones? I like, I just like that term. I like the term, I like us all using the same terms.
But is that the purview of the Park District or the purview of the city of Urbana?
It is, but the Park District is not going to have a separate, agreement. But I like this idea that we use the term slow ride zone, and we use the term, is it no ride zone?
Right zone.
Yeah, that we keep that consistent throughout all the, I always say there's 3 cities, the city of Champaign, University of Illinois, and Urbana. And that we can work with VO and the Urbana Park District on creating slow ride zones in our signature parks.
For slow ride zones, could you set them for like specific times, like in between these hours they would go slower? I would probably recommend doing that for like at least near like Urbana middle school areas, because like near drop off and at the end of the day, just because it gets so congested that I would recommend at least having like a slower bike then, and then like during the day when students should be in school, the bikes could go at normal speed.
Okay, so if we modify, I'm trying to actually get us to get something. If we put this language in, that in consultation with the Urbana School District and the Urbana Park District, and, you know, and public safety staff in the city of Urbana, and then the rest of the sentence that way.
I think so.
And
yeah.
then instead of restrictions, do we want to be more specific that these are speed restrictions, not just, because I don't know of any areas right now that would be restricted entirely.
So
No ride zones.
it could be like no parking zone also, right? So restriction could be no parking or speed restriction.
Okay.
Or if you wanted like, because these,
Like downtown Urbana, you don't want no biking on those sidewalks, right? Like that's a restricted zone.
and yeah, like.
Right, I
they
don't know
must-
if we're going to be able to do that restriction, like have VO set that up, map them.
Okay, we're making a recommendation.
Sure,
not
sorry.
writing the law.
But we can work, and like the other thing
leave it as
too.
restrictions.
Well, the
That's-
other thing
that's
too
fine.
is
We
leave
can
it,
leave it
yeah,
as
because like we can get into the nitty gritty. This, BPAC can get into the nitty gritty with VO, but we don't have to get, I don't think we have to get we don't, like you don't include in your contract like the quad's a no ride zone. You just say we have no ride zones.
No, that would actually be in a contract,
Yeah.
after
No.
it's
We-
negotiated
All
between,
Yeah.
All right.
but that's not for us to
Yeah.
pontificate on.
And
We're never gonna get there.
just say, figure out slow ride zones and no ride zones.
So,
And Bruce, just one thing, like instead of equipment, can we say devices?
okay.
Figure it out.
All right, let's say one thing at a time.
Me to
Okay, for number
figure it
4 then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure, see where we are.
Carmen, I can work
That
with you on-
in consultation with the Urbana
this.
School District, with public safety staff in the city of Urbana and the Urbana Park District, comma, GPS-based restrictions. If you want to put in speed and parking restrictions, we could. You want that in there?
I think GPS restrictions might be just.
GPS-based
Yes,
restrictions.
I take back what I said, leave
Okay,
it as
be
is,
implemented,
it's fine.
implemented for specific areas of high vehicle and pedestrian traffic, period. Okay, and so I thought you had something else you wanted to change.
Oh, in the top, like, one.
Devices?
Yeah, instead of equipment, say devices, and VO ride, they just go by VO, so.
I just pulled that off their website.
Yeah, for some reason, like, it's odd, like, in the contracts, they just use VO Inc.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
So just to be clear, the Park District, do you need anything else in there?
No, I don't think so. Just slow ride zones mostly, which is said by just GPS-based restrictions, which is okay with me, I think. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where we are, so.
And then for the school, do we need to include anything with the school? Do we want our student representatives to work on some wording for us, or not necessary?
I would just say specifically during like school drop-off hours that they need to be slowed down, just so where people don't get hurt. But like during the day, I obviously can't say anything if like bikes just go down there, but like they could go like at their normal speed when students aren't.
So what would the hours be for the slow ride zones by the schools?
So I would say like from like 7 to 8 being, because like that's when like people come to school as early as 7 and the doors close at 8. And then probably from like the 3:16 mark to, what time does the middle school get at?
3:35.
To like,
We also start later. We start at 8:45.
oh,
So 7 to
Yeah.
9, we'll say 7 to 9,
7 to 9,
and 3 to,
4, just 3 to 4.
Again, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. What we're recommending
Are we?
is that the
Okay,
negotiators
then
of the
never mind, yeah.
contract talk to the school district. You know, and then on that basis, if they're doing what they're supposed to do in the school district, they'll have these suggestions. Does that make sense? All right.
I just didn't know if we need shared guardrails. It sounds like a really.
All right, we're providing those, and we're providing some urging here. You know, it'll specify the school district needs to be talked to, and the park district needs to be consulted. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to move something then, good help. I'm going to move that with the modifications that we have made, specifically the removal of number 1, the language changes we did in number 4, the change from equipment to devices in number 6, the trimming of VO ride to VO in number 6, that this document go forward to, Carmen, finish the sentence here, to Urbana City staff, or to you, to,
And number 10, data sharing.
Yeah, can we add a number 10, data
Which is?
sharing? That VO will share the data. that
User
they-
data, yeah,
their
share
data
user
for
data
city
and
of-
locations. Yeah, and give us, I mean, frankly, I would like an annual report from them, but
I mean,
we
that'll
gotta get
be-
that phrase then. don't
That's
we?
another thing we can do in coordination with the city of Champaign, because they require that.
So we gotta have some language here then, so. In coordination with the city of Champaign, VO provide, what do you want to say? On what basis and what kind of data?
We can just say ridership and ridership data, quarterly, or
I think they must have some form of reports that they can just share like universally, so we don't have to be that specific of what we are ordering here. Just by adding data sharing with City of Urbana, it's just enough.
We can be vague on the others.
Yeah.
Let's be vague
Yeah.
on this one too. There's data sharing that's going to happen.
because then we can also report on like.
That's what I wrote down, data sharing.
Okay. All right, we're still, we gotta get that articulated here.
all right, what are we looking for?
Shares the data pertaining to operations in city.
Well, how about if we look at like what Champaign did and just copy and paste? Yep, okay, we're getting a head nod from Carmen on copy and paste what Champaign asked for. Yeah, oh, geez, okay.
Well, we gotta be a little better.
Can't look it up because it's not here. Oh, it's.
While Bruce is writing, I was just going to share with number 8 that from our call that we had with the VO representative, he shared his personal cell phone and email address for us to reach out to when there's bikes in the way, and was saying he would be willing to have that shared publicly for people to reach out to him directly for any issues that are seemingly ADA violations. So I think that's pretty promising that he's so willing to be involved in helping remediate that issue.
Will he also remove snow and ice?
I'll have to follow up on that one.
So something like this, that VO be required to share data on a regular basis to the city of Urbana requiring deployment and usage of VO devices,
I support that, yep.
okay? All right.
I second that motion.
Movement.
No, but we haven't figured out where this goes. We're recommending that this goes to that this document be then
Other city staff and
forwarded
the
to
city
city staff?
attorney, yeah.
All right. All right. To revise the motion, help me out, that this document with the modifications we've approved tonight be forwarded to city staff for consideration in upcoming negotiations with VO.
Yes.
It's a motion.
Is there a second to the main motion?
A second.
All right, this motion passes.
All in
No,
favor?
shoot, it does not.
Not yet.
Any further discussion?
Is there any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All right, now this motion passes.
You're forgetting your Robert rules of
I know, because they're not on my cards.
I'll send you a copy to these guys and Annie, the amended doc, and that's enough? All right.
Next working group is ADA compliance. And that is Sarah, Nancy, Carmen.
Yeah, you want to start?
We had a lovely time.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
met last week. We
think
mostly
so.
talked about the snow clearing issue and the e-bikes blocking sidewalks. So I think we came up with a number of good ideas. I wrote down for the e-bikes to route the calls more locally, have the local crew remove them in an hour and a half if possible, and maybe have local crews check on problem areas and work with residents to log those areas, ask how, so that was, yeah, I checked in with VO on all of these things, and I think that, yeah, it aligns with what we just talked about. Then with snow and ice, we talked about looking at what Champaign does. I am going to meet with the Champaign ADA coordinator this week and hope to talk to her about what they're doing there. What else?
I mean, that summed it up pretty well.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time like on the sidewalk stuff.
Yep. But good meeting. We need to plan another meeting soon. That's all I got for an update there.
All right, moving on to the Public Outreach and Advocacy Working Group. Annie, Sue, Kev. Sue, Kev, what have you got?
Well, you were there.
I know, I have some notes, but I thought I'd let you guys talk. Nothing, all right. I mean, I can share that we've had on the table that we were gonna have an event, and it was gonna be associated with the teen hangout zone. And it sounds like the teen hangout zone is interested in that event. Sort of the confusion that not confusion, something that's sort of stalling forward progression is, I did get an email from the Rotary that said they were interested in a free bike giveaway. And they also wanted that to be associated with the Urbana Police Department, and it was in honor of somebody who worked in the police department who used to do this, who was well loved. So that came up, and I needed to, I shared back with those folks that I said, we are interested, we would be overjoyed if we could give away bikes. And I shared with them at our last event, one father watched his child ride through the rodeo on a Champaign County bike, one of these bikes that Jeff Yockey has in his truck, and so it's a shared community bike, and he said he wished he could afford to buy his child one. I shared that we have quite a few members here, and we represent the University of Illinois, the Urbana Park District, the Urbana School District. We have the CUMTD, we have Safe Routes to School, and we have the community at large. And we discussed the event, the Teen Hangout Zone, on April 24th from 3:30 to 6 at the Phillips Recreation Center. And ideas for the event were how to map your trip, how to lock your bike, how to check your helmet, free front and back lights, bike rodeo with Jeff with the CCB, and so he has bikes and gears for this. He would like to train a few more people on how to set up and move the trailer. Safety tips, how to signal with your arms, the melon drop, CUMTD Safe Routes to School. The police are interested in doing sort of a fix a bike and they could partner with the Campus Bike Center. There's the Before You Ride ABCs, there's bike registration, there's basic rules of riding, and a certificate of completion. It's my understanding the Urbana Park District could provide certificates of completion. So other ideas was to build a bike program. Jeff, Cynthia had one thought about that, and then we would work with the Teen Hangout Zone to identify who would be good candidates. And then I mentioned that there are partners we can work with Wildcard Racing, Illini Cycling, Prairie Cycle Club, Campus Bike Center, Champaign County Bikes, Urbana Park District, Urbana Police Department, CU Safe Routes to School, Urbana Free Libraries, you can do bike registration there, and the MTD. So we are willing to work with folks, and then I also mentioned that we have $300 that we can contribute to something in some way. That was my update on the event. So that's what I have so far. Now we just got to make it happen. Is there anything else?
No, because I mean, that was,
Summary?
we
Okay.
have something real and then
Yeah.
all kinds of potential.
Would you think you would need PTSA members to come and help?
Yes, we would love PTSA members to come and help.
Because I think we have another meeting here in a
Yeah.
few weeks that I can try to bring more people
Yeah.
to the thing, but
Yeah, and
that's if needed.
yeah, so we just need to work, I think, with the Teen Hangout Zone. We need to sort of start getting people. I was going to give people like another week or two before I was going to start wrangling people and trying to lock them down into what they are willing to do and what they can do and what's realistic. So, because the other idea is all these resources can be deployed. They don't have to be at the Teen Hangout Zone. We can do them in a different way. We can do a different type of event. And then we also talked about, talking to Jeff about how he has a table at the farmer's market every Saturday and what it would look like if we were at the farmer's market. And I had an idea, I had an idea that we could wear, I just had this idea today, so it could just be stupid. But the idea I had was that we could wear like bright yellow vests that just said something on it like questions about biking, walking, or taking the bus. And like we could just be at the farmer's market wearing these vests and people like around that booth. Not being weird and wandering all over. But like we could be there and we could answer people's questions. We could hand out, bus routes and how, like, so we could just basically be resources for people of how to get around the city. So that was one thought I had today. And
I would actually say that would be a smart idea because, like, I know, like, coming at least from a private school sense, I didn't know bus routes till I got to high school. So, like, if people who were younger could get the information on, like, how the bus system works and, like, oh, this is the right way to take care of a bike, I think it would be a good idea to bring up. It's just, we would have to, like, get the stand and everything.
Yeah, I think we had something like bus rodeo, bike rodeo, just for like students. But yeah, of course, that's not for all the schools. So I think some events like farmers market, maybe all kinds of students, they will show up. Like they will just go to the farmers market, maybe interested in how to ride a bus. That might be helpful and promote, buses. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm 34 and I'm from a small farm town, so I also have never ridden a bus. Like I'm waiting for specific training, like how to use a bus with low vision, but I've never been on one to begin with. So like I don't even know how to use the bus at all, let alone in a wheelchair. So I
Stay
think that
with me
would be,
after this meeting. I will take you.
yeah. So, but I think that would be really helpful as well.
do two, I wonder too, if we didn't just do a how to ride a bus meetup. Like,
VPAC could meet outdoors and just walk and take the bus sometime and just be in the community one day. I mean, just an idea. I don't know we can do that because we have to be televised and we have to be in this.
We don't have to be televised, we just
Like-
have to be public, which means we just make the public aware of where we will be. And then take good meeting minutes if we're not recorded.
But my choir
there are
does this-
cameras on the buses.
My choir does the same thing. Like we'll go to the farmer's market maybe like 2 or 3 times, and you'd be surprised the amount of people that you can get to sign up for things just because they're there at the farmer's market. But I think that'd be a really good idea because you really do hit kind of all areas of life at the farmer's market.
I have to say about the bus system here, you know, I lived in Chicago for years, and it works, and if you have to use it, you use it. But the buses here go beyond just working. They are incredibly effective. They arrive like when they say they're going to arrive. It's a good system, and I know it will get better with this new transportation bill that went through. So, yeah, I think if we can, I actually think it's kind of a fun idea of how to ride the bus. Like, I don't know what that looks like or how we would time it out, but I like that idea.
I think I will check with our marketing team because we usually do how to ride a bus for new students of U of I, but maybe not for the community members. So yeah, let me check with them. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it for the high school students. You could do it, and we have our ambassadors here. I'd love this idea. That's great.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the MTD buses are wheelchair accessible, correct? Okay, and that, 'cause like I said, I almost thought that I couldn't use the bus because I'm in a wheelchair. So that I think, right, and so I would also, like, I would be there, I would like to help out to be like, hey, if you're in a wheelchair, like, you can still use the bus, because, like, this is brand new information to me.
Speaking about the high school, I think a way we could include more of like the diverse communities. I think someone who's very impactful is Lucia Maldonado. So I think if we could work with her with also promoting this, I think at least the Hispanic communities would greatly benefit from that. At least I know in my experience, I knew kids who weren't let out because their parents like didn't know how to use these things. And like, well, it's not safe. Like, we can't ensure you're safe. So, so just to give like parents and students that peace of mind, I think that would be great for them too.
Yeah, I would say even going back to like the private school thing, I always thought buses were unsafe because private school mindset. So like I was always like, oh, it's gonna be so unsafe and there's gonna be like bad people on the bus. And then like I get a bus pass my freshman year and now that I know the bus system and I trust everyone, it's definitely the bus system's quite effective, and you can thank a lot of people like the board of trustees who have worked really hard on setting the bus system the way it is.
It's fun. Riding the bus is actually fun. I mean, you can just read a book, you can hang out, you get to see people. It's good people watching. All right, I'm getting the time. I'm getting the time.
We can always be
New working groups, Carmen. Oh wait, do we have anything else to add?
Technically, I'm not in that,
Mhm.
but
Oh.
we thought like we can
Right.
discuss that topic in this. We, as the university, MTD, at this point, it's just university, MTD, and RPC. We are talking about doing a Bike for Earth Day event again, where we hand out the leftover T-shirts from Bike Month or Bike to Work Day in fall, and any bike lights that were left over from the Light the Night event. So we were wondering, we wanted to ask like City of Urbana whether this is something that they would like to participate. If so, how, because like with Light the Night, we usually have the events located on campus. But if Urbana wants to do something in Urbana, or if they want to just help out at the edge, like Helene Gateway or intersection of Green and Lincoln, like they normally do for Light the Night event, that's also fine, but we just want to ask for their interest and if they have any lights left over, or if they want to.
I shared the extra lights that Marcus had with Annie, so I'm
Okay.
not sure if you passed those all out already,
I have some lights, not a ton, but I have lights.
And can we also check with the police department at City of Urbana whether they want to participate? Because I dropped off lights to the city police department. So if they want to help out during the event, that's great too. And it's always
do you have a
good to have.
date? Do you have a date for the event?
We usually like April 22nd, normally. I mean, Earth Day is April 22nd, so last year we decided to do the event on the same day, and we're hoping to do the same this year. And it will be more like the 3 to 6 or 4 to 7 p.m. event again. Haven't decided yet. We haven't had our first meeting yet, which is going to be on Thursday. Yeah.
So you're just looking to see if there's anyone from the city that wants to participate, similar to Night the Light? Or are you asking if it should be a city-sponsored event or co-sponsored?
So, like, if you're helping out at, like, within the university, like, I will take care of, like, the tables, chairs, and the logistics of that. But if you're doing it outside the campus, then it will be City of Urbana expense. Then how do you do that? I'm not too sure. But then we can still coordinate the event as like same marketing, same promotion techniques, and like spread the awareness within the community as well. But if you want to share, like, I can cover the cost if we are hosting the event on campus.
Sure. Let me check in with our planners and our CD director to see what Kevin Garcia or Marcus used to do for the Night the Light events, because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then I can also check in with the police department to see if they would like to be involved.
Cool.
All right, great. I'm trying to think of like if we did do it here, like where we would do it. But that's great. If not, we can all help out on campus, I suppose. All right, so Carmen, because we're out of time and I do want time for announcements. The last thing that I think we're going to talk about is new working group. And this, Carmen, was something you mentioned.
Yeah, so we have the 3 working groups now, but we have a new member, and I know Choshi has not been included in one of the working groups. So if either of you wanted to join a working group or we want to shuffle members, like we're not rigid. If you wanted to participate in one that you haven't participated in yet, that is okay. The thing we just need to be conscious about is not having more than 3 people meet at a time or email each other about these topics, so we're not in violation of OMA. But my thought for another working group, which actually I think was Sue's idea, not mine, I shouldn't take credit for it, was looking at grants, potential grants that VPAC could help the city look into, research, if there's specific areas around town, kind of like with the Safe Routes to School grant, like if there's crosswalk locations or infrastructure needs, and then you're looking into, grants that are available. I could share the grant strategy that the city puts together, and then that working group could really dive into specific grants related to bike and pedestrian needs. But first, I'm not dictating. There has to be interest in this to form a working group. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a suggestion to see if there was interest.
I'm not actually sure how do those working groups work. Like, do we search for new grants, or if there's maybe possible grants for City of Urbana, and we can discuss how can we, this committee, help with that?
There are no rules yet, other than the don't violate OMA.
It's just it's 3 people or 2, that have a common interest to dive deep.
Okay.
So, and that.
Yeah.
So we had talked maybe November or December meeting about kind of changing the schedule for BPAC to focus more on these working groups and have the working group meetings maybe 1 month and then BPAC meet the next month. But we never came to a conclusion about, if we really wanted to do that. So we're kind of testing out the working groups first before we change
'Cause it
this
could be
regularly.
email,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. You could work independently too, and
get together somewhere, as long as it's not more than 3, and just.
And I mentioned earlier on, with these working groups, since they're not formal BPAC subcommittees, anyone
Right,
could be a
anybody.
member of it. You don't have to be a resident of Urbana, you don't have to be a member of BPAC. We could include others in the community that just want to get involved or might have input on something. And if you know of somebody that's interested, like I was thinking the person who applied to be on BPAC, but we've run out of vacancies here, they could join a working group and still contribute that way. So no rules yet. We're just kind of trying this out to see if we can, really get more things accomplished in these groups outside of this larger setting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the new grants or basically anything you will mention here for a new working group, but and I kind of like the idea of testing all the working groups out before we change this meeting schedule. So yes, I think I can be in the new working group for the new grants.
Or if you have a different idea that you'd rather focus
this
on,
point.
then I'm open to other ideas.
Carmen, I have a question. Like, what if there was a working group? And again, I know you're going to tell me we can do whatever we want, but my question is effectiveness. Like, what if, I wanted a working group on, I would just really like a crosswalk on Washington at Anderson. Like, is that a thing? Like, do you just have a working group to get a crosswalk?
What do you plan to do in the working group to get the crosswalk?
I'm not sure. Maybe get a group of neighbors together and have them come to BPAC.
If that
I have
group
no
wanted
idea.
to look into funding sources for us, like a grant that could help us do that, like, I don't know. Or write a letter to council saying this is so important. Like, you could do all the things to help us get that crosswalk, and then sure, you can have a working group about that crosswalk.
Okay. All right.
Any other ideas? Is there more support for the crosswalk than the grants?
Crosswalk working group, one at a time. I'll take them out. All right. So it sounds like, all right, does anyone have ideas for working groups? Anything they want to, any other comments, thoughts? Doesn't sound like it. Okay. So I'm going to skip over Nick.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say I'd also potentially be interested in the grants group, or like if you have like a crosswalk or like a general infrastructure kind of thing group, I'd also be interested in that.
That would be a group that would be beneficial, like applying for the grants. That would
Sue, is your mic on?
What did I say?
Rundell.
Okay, it sounds like, like we have a working group, because basically if it's two, and the idea would be infrastructure and specific grants, and then you could go, you can do tangents. It wouldn't have to be sidewalk, it wouldn't have to be crosswalk grants, but that could be your first big project.
I take this assignment.
All right. Perfect.
I'm willing to assist.
All right.
I think that makes 3.
It does.
We got 3.
I
So
can-
can't.
I can move someone off of, I'm on events. I'm also happy to move off events or stay on it, but I'm happy to move off.
All right.
All right, moving on. So announcements. Does anybody have announcements?
I have a few. The Park District, some of you might know, we were just awarded an OSLAD grant for King Park, which I presented on this fall, I think last fall. So that's $600,000 from OSLAD. We'll look at construction starting next summer and probably finishing in the fall of 2027 or late 2028, depends. some things happen sometimes. But we also are in the approval process for 2 DCO grants for Weaver and Prairie Park for about $4 million. So this is for soccer infrastructure, site lighting, parking. That's what we're tackling right now. So that's all.
I ride out by Weaver Park at least once a week, and it's interesting to watch the little changes. It's, you know.
Hey, congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yes.
This is your first park that you've designed, right? MLK?
The King Park?
Yeah, King Park. I always called MLK Park. King Park.
I've worked on a lot of different things, but King Park is one of them.
I thought that was your lead. That was your. No, you've done other parks.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right. Never mind.
So good. He knows what he's doing.
I know. I was like, he seemed so confident. If that was his first park. I'm desperately trying to find. There were some bills I just signed. I signed witness slips for in Illinois, and one of them, and I can't find the wording for them, so it's kind of killing me. But one thing I'm interested in is lowering speed limits in residential areas in our city, and right now it's difficult to do. We're really hoping the state legislature can drop the residential speed limit for us. So one of the witness slips was for that. Another one, so it was dropping speed limits in alleys and in residential streets. Another witness slip was for bikes to be considered, this is the one I'm gonna get the wording screwed up on, but it was bikes basically to be considered as equals on the streets in a way then that if the infrastructure doesn't work for a cyclist on a street, they can sue the city to get better infrastructure or request better infrastructure. And I cannot remember what the third one was. But these are just witness slips, so this just means this stuff's just going forward. And being counted, yeah. And so I'll keep following this. There was a third one that I can't remember what it was. But there it is. There's that.
Cool. One of the announcements I've already made, VO bikes, they're back. So I'm not going to go too deep into that anymore. The university, we updated our bicycle ordinance in the last month or so. The ordinance now includes language for operations of e-bikes and e-scooters, and also defines what an e-bike is and what is an e-moto. So if you're interested, you can go to go.illinois.edu/bike ordinance, and that's the most recent update that you will find on the bike ordinance. Just after we had published this, we found out that the state actually issued or published a guideline initiative for e-bikes and e-scooters. It's called Ride Safely, Ride Smart, something like that. It defines the operation. It's the initiative. It's like a framework. It's not a law. It's not a bill. It's just an initiative to guide communities and governments on how these e-bikes and e-scooters should operate on what type of surface. So it's something interesting for I think for us to see. So again, just.
And that was Cynthia Hoyle gave a presentation to us on that, and Ride Illinois really helped push that through. And Ride Illinois now has a full-time lobbyist, so it's been very helpful in trying to organize the bike, all this information, all this lobbying that's coming. So yeah, I've seen a lot on this. It's very exciting. It's good news. All right, really quick, do we have any future topics? I have one future topic concept. I'm curious if folks would be interested in amending the bylaws to add MTD as a partner, as an official partner. So we would have a seat reserved on BPAC for the MTD. I don't know if people would be interested in having that discussion. So that's my one future topic concept.
Sure, let's talk about that next time.
Yeah, I would say that would be a good concept, but we need to wrap it up. So next meeting.
Yeah. And really quickly, should we have a further discussion on the ride safety initiative that the state has just issued or published?
That's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we add that, yeah. Do you want me to reach out to Cynthia on that, or you?
Prefer that.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, Cynthia knows a lot more about it, so it's best if she does it.
And I will not be at the March meeting, so I don't know if other folks will be. That is, I just, if anyone wants to check the calendar, I just know for sure I will not be here in March.
I will also not be here in March, so. Or will our vice chair lead the group? Spring break. It's during the school district spring break. Yeah.
I would recommend reaching out to us about the beginning, like a few weeks from now, to see about that meeting, just to see if we would even have a quorum then. If not, separate into work groups during then.
All right, any other future topics before we close this? All right. Before we officially end today's meeting, I would like to thank everyone for your work today. It is my hope that you leave this meeting feeling seen, heard, respected, and valued. The work we are doing together is important, and I thank you all for your participation. With that said, if there are no objections, I call this meeting adjourned.
All right.